Wow. The power is here now. It's not coming someday. It's not something you need to find, locate, wish for, hope for. It is a here and now reality, and you have it, and it's unlimited. As Rev Emi said in her opening invocation, it is within you, as you, infinite, unbound, constant, constant in your life. Thomas Troward wrote that my mind is a center of divine operation. The divine operation is always for expansion and fuller expression. And this means the production of something beyond what has gone before, something entirely new, not included in the past experience, though proceeding out of it by an orderly sequence of growth. Therefore, since the divine cannot change its inherent nature, it must operate in the same manner with me. Consequently, my own special world, of which I am the center, it will move forward to produce new conditions, always in advance of anything that has gone before. Sometimes we take a look at what's happening in life and we make judgment based on history. We will look at what's possible or probable moving forward, rather than sort of dropping into that awareness within us that's so infinite, eternal, and all powerful, and checking to see what that next step might look like. It's easy to go, well, I tried something once and it didn't work out so good, so I'll never try again. But today's a new day. So there is a divine presence and power within you that is infinite, has never been touched by anything, harmed by anything, and is fully expressing here and now. And the way we tap into it is through the use of our imagination, through the faculty of visualization, through allowing ourselves to let the outside world sit back for a second, going, it's already done. Let me go back to cause, first cause of all things, which is that divine creative force. There's, a movie out that called Aladdin. And of course, you rub the magic lamp and ta-da, you get 3 wishes. The genie pops out and gives you what you want. There is a power within you that hears you, that knows you, that is not listening to the outer world describe what you could or should or would be able to do, but rather it is the infinite potential that requires our belief in it in order for it to begin to manifest in our world. That consciousness of oneness with all life, that consciousness of power and possibility allows us to begin to create. But we create from where we are. We must start right here. And in this place right now, we have the ability to begin to think in a new way. And by doing that, we begin to shift and change what's happening around us, what's happening in our life experience. Now, we're not making magic here. What we're doing is we're allowing the energy of life to flow in a way that matches our greatest desire and vision for our lives. So why is it that it's not happening? Well, anybody here ever worry about anything or be fearful about stuff or maybe focus on the problem? I've got a pain in my elbow, so that's the only thing I can think about. We do this, right? It's natural. Whatever is sort of drawing our attention. If there isn't enough money in the bank, right away it's like, oh, how am I going to pay this bill? Or what am I going to do there? Or how is this going to happen? And so we're tending to focus our energy in the wrong way. And as a result, we're getting results that aren't quite what we had hoped for or imagined. Geneviève Behrend, who was the only student who studied exclusively with Troward in his lifetime, said the divine operation would not exclude my past experience, but proceeding out of it would bring some new thing that would transcend anything that I had ever experienced before. That's a great mantra, I think. That would be a great mantra for each of us to say day by day. And Genevieve Behrens shares in her book, Your Invisible Power, she shares in there about using this statement every day, morning and night, periodically through the day. And she wanted to study with Troward. She had read the quote I shared earlier. She had read that. She was inspired by it. And she wanted to study with him personally, but he did not take on students. And so she did this every day. She lived in the US. She would have to go to England. And so she needed $20,000 to do that. This was a long time ago. So she said this every day, reminding herself every day that there's a divine operation in me, moving me forward in a way that is going to bring newness into my life. And she had a clear picture of what that newness would look like. So she began to visualize. She would visualize her taking a steamer ship across the ocean. Like I said, this was a long time ago. Taking that steamer ship across, going in, knocking on his door, and having him agree to teach her what he knew. She read the Dore lectures and had trouble understanding them. The Edinburgh and Dore lectures are something that we use in this teaching, and we work with those as we train our ministerial students. But the Edinburgh lectures she found really difficult, so she went to the Dore lectures and found those a little easier, but still found it very difficult to really grasp everything he was saying. And she wanted to know it right into her bones. She wanted to acknowledge that power and presence within herself and allow it to bloom and to blossom and to be her expression in life. And interestingly, coming up with 20 grand in the early 1900s, I don't know when she went to work with him, but it was fairly early in the 1900s. That was a lot of money. And she managed, through her visualization and everything, to draw to her exactly what she needed and to actually get to London and work with Troward. I think he, made her come back a few times before he finally agreed. The reality is that we have a choice about where we focus our attention. We have within us this power, this infinite presence. We can call it God, we can call it divinity, we can call it soul essence, we can call it life expressing, first cause of all things, creator. The words can't actually encompass what it is, but by dropping our awareness into it, beginning to look at whatever's in front of us as an opportunity to view something new and different, we begin to focus inwardly rather than on what is happening around us. So the pain in our body becomes an opportunity for us to remember perfect and beautiful health, to begin to imagine our body operating perfectly, the cells sort of joining together in harmony, exquisitely expressing that which I would call health. And so we visualize this and we talk about this and we go into this energy. Myrtle Fillmore, who created Silent Unity, she would pray every day. She had tuberculosis. This is in the 1800s. And so she would go into prayer and she would talk to her body and tell her body all the ways in which it works so perfectly and beautifully. And when we remember that it is our thinking that's building the body, our language and use of it is really, really important. We have within us a superpower. Yes, we do. We have within us a superpower, and it is saying yes to us. Not some of the time, but all the time. Not just the words that we're speaking and the things that we're doing, but what it is that we believe deep down in our heart. Now, sometimes because of conditioning from the past or whatever, we might think, well, I'm not good enough. I'm flawed and broken. There's something wrong with me. And I'm here to tell you that no, that is not true. Each and every one of us is created in the image and likeness of the Creator, which means we have in fact been created perfect, whole, and complete. That what it is we are here to do, no one else on the planet can do in the fashion or manner in which we do it. And we are essential to the unfolding of the universe today. So I'm here to tell you, you are enough. That whatever messages you received in your childhood or adulthood from family, friends, teachers, doctors, whatever they have told you has been based on their understanding of life and their experience and has nothing to do with you. You are a miracle, created perfectly. And as we tap into that superpower which we possess, and we begin to look at what it is we truly desire out of life, what makes our hearts sing, what enlivens, excites, and delights us, and we begin to focus on that, and we release the fear, the negativity, the worry, the doubt, we release that and exchange it instead for this newer idea, this bigger idea, this greater possibility that, yes, I can. So some of you know I've recently taken up the piano again, hadn't played it in, 50 years. I was a little rusty. Okay, more than a little rusty. And what's interesting is I was talking to a musician. I was talking to Karen Drucker a couple of weeks ago and was talking about doing this. And I said, I'm not a musician. And she stopped me dead in my tracks and said, yeah, you are. And you need to say that when you sit down at the piano. You need to think that in your mind. I am a musician. See, when we begin to change our focus, when we begin to change where we are putting our attention, we begin to create a greater sense of harmony, peace, love, and joy in our world. When we begin to focus on what it is we truly want, we begin to see doors open and some close. We want to make sure that we don't focus on the closed door, but rather turn our attention and begin to view that open door or window and see the potential and possibility that actually lies there for us. You see, we know who we are. We also know why we're here. Now, maybe we've forgotten consciously, but at a soul level, we've never forgotten. There is something inside of you that is ready, willing, and able to be fully realized. And it's up to each one of us to choose that, to decide for ourselves that, yes, I can. And there's a couple simple things we can do to make sure we manifest that. We stop focusing on the past. We stop focusing on the thing that's causing us discomfort. And instead, we ask ourselves, what is mine to do now? What is mine to do now? And to understand that I am ready. I am ready to be, to express, to allow, and then to shine that light forward and watch the doors open, watch the changes occur. I think we're standing on the precipice of mighty change. I have seen so much change this year that I've had my world rocked. I know many of you have as well. And there is something happening at a really deep quantum level globally or in the consciousness of all that is changing the game. And it's time for us to stop playing small, to stop believing in the limitation or, my past divines my present and my future, and to know that no, in this moment, I choose my new reality. I choose my new expression. I choose my forward motion. And I invite you to make that choice for yourself as well. That within you, there is a superpower. And as you begin to acknowledge your true desires, that which really lifts you up and excites and delights you, as you begin to do that, the answers start to show up. The way is made easy. And there is something wonderful happening. I don't know what, but 2024, bring it. Bring it on. Let us go into meditation as we contemplate this presence and power. I invite you to just close your eyes if you're comfortable. Take a deep breath in. And just quiet yourself. Allow yourself to settle deep within into that place of pure potential. feel the rhythm of your heartbeat. Feel this power, this incredible force within. Know that it is you. It is each one of us, individualized. Feel that energy of love, of joy, of potential, lighting up every cell of your body, the cells of your mind, lifting your consciousness to a new place of understanding. And ask yourself, what is mine to do now? How am I to be, to manifest this beautiful life that I dream about? This power within has no limitations, is not bound by space or time. This power within is your superpower. And as you tap into it, the way forward becomes easy, obvious. So I invite you in this moment, as you breathe in, just to release the past. It was. And just surrender into that divine space at the core of your being and listen. Listen to the guidance of that truly divine energy, that infinite potential, and trust what you hear. For it truly is holy, holy, holy.